Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the American Tier 8 Premium Tank Destroyer, the PanserJager NM116. Now if you do enjoy the video, as always, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe down below, as it really does help out the channel. And yes, the PanserJager. Oh boy, what a TD. This thing is, well, it's pretty overpowered if we're on about it, really. It's very, very overpowered. It's stupidly good because it's quick. It's got a 61 km/h top speed, which it hits quite easily. It's got 262 penetration on its standard APCR rounds, which also have a shell velocity of 1,275 meters a second. It's got 320 heat pen with around, I think it's 950 meters a second shell velocity on the heat rounds, which is a little bit slower. So if you do load the heat rounds, bear in mind your APCR rounds are much faster than you have to lead much further on to get the shots in. You've got pretty damn good gun handling in the fact that your base gun handling is 0.34, so you're getting into the far more accurate side of things. You've got 2-second aim time, which is absolutely fabulous. You get that down really low. Your accuracy during rotation with the build I've got is 0.79, which is pretty damn nice as well. The one downside is that your accuracy during movement is utterly atrocious. It's kind of like the AET-60 in that way, that everything's really good except for the accuracy during movement, which means that your gun bloom after you've been moving is huge. Your aim circle is massive after you've stopped moving, which is something that you want to try and knock down with the crew skills. And then your reload is filth. You've got a 4.9 second reload with the build I've got. The base reload is 6.7. Which means that you absolutely shred. The DPM is nuts, and since your penetration is so good, you just go through everything. You've got nearly 3.5k DPM. You've also got 370 meters of base view range, which isn't the best, but if you run optics, born leader, situational awareness, all that good stuff, you will get your view range up to 473 meters, which is not the best view range at tier 8 in the universe, but coupled with your unbelievably dirty camouflage at 212 meters of concealment with the build I've got, it means that you are very easily out spotting everything, and if you get yourselves in good bush locations, you just farm for days and basically never get spotted. And it is unbelievably beautiful. You're basically just a Chaffee on steroids. And yeah, this tank is utterly insane. It really, really is. It's an absolutely nutty tank. When you get top tier, you absolutely shred. And when you go bottom tier, you don't really care. Because you have phenomenal camo, you have good view range, you have good gun handling, you have good penetration, and you've got fantastic DPM. It just absolutely shreds this tank. This tank is definitely one of the more OP tier 8s in the game, because it really doesn't care, and it is absolutely phenomenal. The only thing about the PanserJager is that sometimes the gun, for saying how accurate it actually is, just decides, you know, I'm just going to miss that shell, and you sit there going, why? But why? RNG giveth, RNG taketh, you know. But you can snap shots like that on the IS-6 as well. So what do I run in terms of an old crew on the old PanserJager? Well, on the PanserJager 101 NM116, I do run Born Reader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Steady Aim, Run and Gun, Camouflage Expertise, Silent Driving, Muffled Shot. Muffled Shot's built to help the camouflage after firing, to reduce the effect of firing on my camouflage. Silent Driving to make it so that the movement doesn't affect my camo as much, so I can be far more like a light tank. And the Camouflage Expertise to make sure that my camo is 10% better. The Steady Aim and Run and Gun to make the gun 10% more accurate and 10% more accurate on the move, because like I say, the on-the-move accuracy is really not very good on this tank, so you really do want to help it out if you can, because that will reduce the amount that your gun blooms out after firing, or sorry, not after firing, after moving. And then all the other perks are generally what you're going to take in World War II. And then in terms of equipment, I run the Advanced Loader, Optics, Camo Net. Camo Net to make the camo beautiful on this tank, so that gets it down to that filthy level that it's at. The Optics to be able to spot for yourself so that you can abuse the fantastic camo and outspot things at a good range and then stay unspotted while you farm them. And the Advanced Loader to make sure that the DPM is as phenomenal on this tank as it can be, which it is utterly phenomenal. And this first game, as you've seen, we are on Hidden Village. We've managed to farm 6,001 damage with 802 assistance. You've just seen the worst shooting you've ever seen in your life against the Falcon T92, and we sadly couldn't get any more damage on that guy. But we have managed to get 4 kills, and that game ends with the victory. Nice 12-0. And we finished the game with the epic victory Top of the team, 4 kills, 6,001 damage, 802 assistance, good amount of credits because it does make good credits as well. The first class, the high caliber, for 2,074 base XP, and yep, 2,074 base XP is a first class. Generally, this tank, yeah, you're going to need about 2.3 to 2.4k base XP to actually get an ace, which is, again, a indicator of how utterly ridiculous this tank is. But yeah, this tank does have a 50% silver bonus, which is actually fairly low for a tier. Well, it's the bottom end of the tier 8 silver bonuses, but it still does make very good credits because you don't really have to fight a heat that often. You can just stick with the standard APCR, and most of the time you are going to pen those shots, and you're hitting them as well if you manage to aim properly. And yeah, you just make good silver with it. This tank is just, it really is absolutely crazy. It really is. So we're on to the second replay, and the second replay, we're in a bottom tier matchup. We're on this map, which is Heilbronn, and we've taken up this position here on this little mid-ridge at F7-8. One of the things that does annoy me about the PanserJager is the muzzle flash, and you're going to see it a lot in this game. It just, for some reason, only pops up on certain maps. It doesn't pop up all the time. But when you pull the trigger, that happens. And it's really irritating. I'm sorry if it's one of those things that sometimes once you've seen it, that's it, or once you've noticed it, that it never leaves you. But the muzzle flash is horrific on this tank. It's absolutely massive when you're in the sniper mode, and it means that you can't see where your shells go. And that's half of the reason why when you fire sometimes and you miss, you're sort of sitting there going, how did that miss? Because you have no idea. You don't know where the shell went. There's just no indication because the muzzle flash is massive. They did say they were reducing the muzzle flash on tanks so that it was not in the sniper mode and stuff, but it seems to have only affected a few tanks, and it actually only seems to work on certain maps. There's some maps that you have the muzzle flash in the PanserJager, and some maps you don't. It's really, really weird. But that muzzle flash is so frustrating. It's one of the things that turns me off playing certain tanks, and the PanserJager is one of those, because that muzzle flash is just irritating to me, and I don't want to live with it. It's one of those small things, right? It just gives me, as it were, it just gives me the ick. It is what it is, right? I'm just like, ugh. I don't like that. I don't like that whatsoever. I can't see where my shells are going, and it just frustrates me. So, yeah, I'm not a big fan of playing tanks with that. The stuff like the STG is another one. I like the STG, but the muzzle flash on that tank is utterly atrocious, and you can't see where your shells go, and it's just, yeah, it's frustrating. But I digress. We're in the PanserJager, we're bottom tier, we've decided to move up. We're at 1,054 damage, 816 assistance, and we have managed to find this E4 sitting at the back. We are 350 metres away from him, we're pulling back to maximise the concealment between me and him. As you can see, it means he cannot see me if I fire. But he's managing to get himself behind that little ledge, which means I can't quite find a shot at him. We try and get the shot into his engine deck, but, well, he's just not quite giving us the shot. We actually have shots at the Iron Rain, though, and again, we're out in the open for that Iron Rain and for the 114 SP2, and they just couldn't see. Well, the Iron Rain especially just couldn't see us. I don't know how that shell missed on the 114 SP2, because he's actually still in the same spot. We get a shot into the back of his turret, once again get another shot in, and this is just how fast the gun fires. This is how fast you can rack up damage, right? This guy's HP is just vanishing, and he's trying to get away, and he has managed to in the end. We know that E4 is still there, so what we're going to do is poke forward and see if we could light it up, but I'm being careful, because obviously there's still an Iron Rain. And the Iron Rain somewhere could hurt me, and I don't want that. The E4 is in a position that he is just caught. We finally get spotted, which to me makes me think, okay, that was not the E4. We're not in a position where the E4 could see me before. I think the Iron Rain's managing to poke out, and we can't see the Iron Rain. He can't see us until we fire, because obviously we've both got very, very good camo. But I want to get rid of this E4, because the E4 is just sort of gatekeeping. Because I want to get up to A6 if I can and start farming the people in their base. But like I said, the E4 is gatekeeping, which is a big problem. And there's the Iron Rain. So we auto-aim the shot, make sure we can see the circle start to aim in on the Iron Rain, and we get a nice shot into him, puts him down to a one-shot. The Iron Rain did charge after us. I wasn't expecting him to just come after us, but hey-ho. So what we're going to do is go around this side of the rock, because I want to get rid of the Iron Rain. But I think, you know what, actually, I'm just going to juke it. This guy might think I'm chasing after the Iron Rain. I'm going to see if I can get some cheeky shots into the E4. We missed the shot on the E4 there, and my thought was now turning to the Iron Rain. But the Iron Rain actually ends up getting shut down by my own team. We've got 320 heat pens, so with an E4 looking at us with his cupola sticking out, that's what we're going to use. But we are spotting the E4 for the artillery. So the artillery ends up setting it on fire, giving us a juicy amount of assistance damage. We're up to 2,100 assistance. And even with 320 heat pen, we're still struggling to go through the E4's cupola, gun port, machine gun thing on the top. Whatever it is, we are still struggling. 320 heat pen is still going, nah, I can't deal with that. used to be a weak spot on the E4. It's just really not anymore. And we are really struggling to get rid of this guy. Like I say, he is gatekeeping. We can't move. So what I'm going to do is use this bush to see if I can spot him again, because I should be able to spot him through the bush. Again, aiming for that machine gun port. He just moves. And again, this is the camo of the tank, because he poked around the corner. We're 244 meters away. And he only just spots us. He didn't spot us with the first shot, he did with the second. Again, I don't want to take a hit from this E4. And I'm starting to see that the enemy team are progressing out of the town, down the one line, towards our cap. And it's like, you know what? Forget you, Mr. E4. I don't care about you anymore. I'm going to go back and try and help defend my base, because they are starting to come out the town, and that means that we need to just make sure that they're not going to cap us. So the Mauerbrecher is pushing out. We just caught a glimpse of him. We couldn't quite shoot him, though. And then there's a Leopard 1 charging after our TD. So what we want to do is try and get after these guys. We do RBRT towards, or RB towards the E4 to see if we can get a cheeky shot at him. But what I need to do is get over and just start helping these guys defend the base. We get a shot into the Leopard 1, but then we start getting detected. I thought maybe I might not get spotted there, but obviously the Leopard 1 does have good view range. And the E4 is clearly the one that's looking at me. We are detected by the E4. The Leopard 1 has lost most of his hit points though, but what we're going to do is poke over and good night, sweet prince. He did not spot me. I don't know. He should have spotted me there as I killed him. But hey-ho! Camo. Beautiful thing. So now that Leopard 1's gone, there is 7... It's still 7-7. This game is still very, very close. And we know where a lot of their team were. They were all camping on that hill. But actually, they've started to move off. And I did not expect this. Because usually you just expect people to camp. The LHMTV gets a shot into our back end. And now I want to get this LHMTV out if I can. If I can try and get another cheeky shot into him, that would be glorious. There is a Jagdpanzer that I could possibly shoot. So I look at the LHMTV, but I'm like, no, you know what? Maybe I could get a shot at the Jagdpanzer's side here. Just ignore the LHMTV. If the LHMTV comes for me, I have far better DPM than he does. So we get a shot straight through the side of the Jagdpanzer. We want to just try and help our friends out. And once again, he's now a one-shot, so we shut down the Jagdpanzer E100, helping our friends out if we could. Goodbye, Mr. Jaegeru. We've now got the LHMTV coming after us. That shot goes underneath. We get lucky he doesn't pen us, but again, the LHMTV has bad DPM. We have very good DPM, so I'm always confident about going after this guy. We get another free aim shot towards his side, and it does track damage only. Oh, okie dokie. Sure thing, game. Sure thing. But there's 5 tanks left on the team. We know where the LHMTV is. I'm still convinced that that E4 is either going to be charging after me around this corner, and I'm going to get a nasty surprise, or he's still going to be set up there at B6, because why wouldn't he move? And in fact, yep, he's still at that position. We fire at 340 meters with no concealment, and yep, we don't get spotted. He's moved into a position we can just farm his lower plate. And, well, thank goodness for me, finally, good night, Mr. E4. We get rid of that tier 10 tank destroyer. We secure our 3rd kill of this game, and a 3rd kill on a tier 10 tank as well. And there's 2 tanks left on the enemy team. It is the LHMTV and the artillery. So we've just got to use the mobility of the old PanserJager now to get after the last 2 tanks, which I'm assuming the artillery is still in there. But in fact, the artillery's just got spotted. That's at B0 towards in their base, which is naturally where they'd normally be. And the M53-55 gets shut down by the E4. So it's just a question of where this LHMTV has gone. And in fact, the LHMTV is towards their base, and rather than facing me, he has ended up charging straight into our team, which means, sadly for us, the likelihood of getting another shot into that guy is very, very slim. And yep, the 4005 shuts him down. And we finished the game with a pretty damn nice total there for the PanserJager in a tier 10 game. Finished with the victory, 3 kills, 4,000 damage, 2.1k assistance. The Halona's medal for destroying 3 tanks 2 tiers higher, I should say. The first class and 2041 base XP. A pretty damn nice game there in the PanserJager, showing off just this PanserJager, man. It's such a nutty tank. It's so good, and it's definitely pretty damn OP as well. It's a fantastic tank. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
A great success.